Let's see if this works. Hopefully this will work. All right, guys. I apologize again. I apologize, guys. I was trying to get this on Twitter also. And again, everything's all screwed up with this. I don't get it. It's very annoying. YouTube is extremely annoying lately. But anyways, welcome to the channel. My name's Craig. Let's see what's going on. So for you guys that have been watching the trades, I closed the trades out at a loss. Obviously, it was a big gain overall. The account we started out with 7,000 with. We took 20,000 out about 3 weeks ago. We took another 35,000 out yesterday. I still have 10,000 in there. I'm trading that now. We're going to trade that back up. Well, I'll show you what's going on with that and just some stuff I want to talk about. So the trade deal hype, right? Who thinks that's just hype? Who thinks that's just trying to save the markets one last time because Powell did what he did? Or do you think they're in cahoots, right? Powell, Trump, they're just all controlled by the same people, which is what I believe. Now, I could be wrong, right? I'm not telling anybody that's exactly what's happening, but I do believe it. Right, left, bird, it's all the same, right? It's just different sides of the same bird with the same goals in mind, which are controlled by people way up, right? If anybody knows anything about how the Federal Reserve got created, it was seven of the most powerful people in the world got together and said, let's make this a law where we control the money. We control the money supply. We control the interest rates. We get money for free. And they control everything, right? So if anybody goes against them, they can pretty much wash them. So anyways, one of the other funny things is the timing of this release, this trade deal, right? So guys, we're going to get into the Bitcoin price. We're going to get into everything here, but I just kind of want to talk a little bit about timing and all that in the market. So the trade deal, 10 a.m. is going to get released, right? At first, when it came out, everybody thought probably China. China's probably not cutting a deal, any kind of deal, anytime soon. One thing it is, we know for sure, is it is the UK. It's this big, Trump says he has struck a comprehensive deal with the UK. That's really not that big of a deal. I don't think we do that much with the UK for one reason. And here's the United Kingdom. I just thought I'd throw the map up real quick on how, minute of a area this is. Not to say they don't do a lot of trade stuff, but I'm curious to see what the trade deal is, right? So I don't think we do a lot of trading with them in the first place, right? But we'll see what happens. So what I wanted to talk about was with the timing is 10 a.m. You guys that watch the channel know we talk about the 10 o'clock reversal in the markets, which happens often, and currently since the market opened it's been going down. So will the 10 o'clock make everything bounce back up and continue to the upside and going to new all-time highs, right? I mean, it's possible. One thing I do know that's funny, like I said, I think everybody we watch on TV, everybody, politicians are just puppets. I truly believe that. Prove me wrong if you can in the chat. I'm real curious. Denny said, the Creature of Jekyll Island, read it, y'all. Yes. If you read that, this will all make sense, right? That the one thing, I talked about this in the last time. If anybody knows anything about the Federal Reserve, right? The president can't change anything they do. Congress, the government can't tell them, dictate them, or anything. The Fed does what they want. The only power the president and the government have is they can abolish the Fed, and they haven't done it yet. Why? Because they're controlled. If they do that, bad things will probably happen, right? You're messing with somebody that owns the media. They own the military complex, right? That's just, it's saddening. And I forget which president. Someone in the chat, let me know which president was it when the Federal Reserve happened, because he did write an apology, pretty much saying, I'm sorry, I just screwed America and everybody in it forever. Which president was that? Just curious. Does anybody know? Oh, guys, remember, if we get 100 likes on this video, I will be giving a $200 promo code away. It's no deposit required. Sign up to a Prime XBT account and go into the, I'll show you real quick. If you go into the, right up here, the more, you'll see promo codes right here. You hit the promo codes and you put the code in that I'll post in the chat once we get 100 likes. I'm not going to tell you when I do it. Just watch for a series of letters and numbers, and that will get you in. Woodrow Wilson? No, I don't think it was Woodrow Wilson. It would have been, I don't remember. I can't think. It's in the book. And does anybody? Nixon. Keith, I think you're right. I think it was Nixon. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I can't tell you for sure without looking that up, and I'm not going to do it right online. So again, guys, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. If you are watching on your mobile, exit the chat for a second, hit the like button. Let's get into it. So let's see what happens in the 10 o'clock reversal. Guys, I still believe this is what's going to happen. Even if we get another new all-time high, it's not going to matter as bad as what's coming, right? There's huge opportunity coming. I'm going to sit back and wait for the opportunity of our lifetime. As in, not saying I'm not going to trade, because trading, it doesn't matter, right? You can make money all the time. It's like having an endless bank account that you can just get in, get some money, get out. But if you're, I just think it's very dangerous right now. And I'm not a financial advisor, right? I'm sharing my opinion, but I do think it's a ugly time to be buying anything right now. Anything in any markets is scary right now. And I know everybody thinks the dollar is going to die and crypto is going to be the thing. And, you know, that's narrative, guys. That's all narrative. So let's look at what happened yesterday. So we were talking about possibly getting up to this golden pocket zone, right? And that's going to be around the 41.8 to 42.2 range, just like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin, it broke above it, though. Now, if the markets follow that, then the market's got a lot higher to go, right? But everything is just under the golden pocket. And remember, on the Nasdaq, especially, if you look here, if we do retest that, that will be right around our golden pocket, about 18.3, somewhere in there. Let's see, what time is it? So is he making the announcement? Should I go on there now and see if the announcement's on there? Let me double check. Let's just go over to here. Nope, you know what? I am going to see if they have Trump's announcement live, and we'll watch it together on here. Oh, what should we watch it on? All right, we're gonna watch this, guys, on here. Probably have to turn the monetization off on this video, which I'll do right now. Let me see what's going on with this monetization. We're gonna turn this off for this video because I don't want to get a strike for playing this. But we'll watch this together once it comes on. Can you guys hear that? Let me know if that's too loud. Is the music on here too loud? Somebody, because I can turn the background on. Yes, it's too loud. Okay. Turn that down a bit. Is that better? Why said I get in a short at 100K. I'll show you where I'm at right now. I did short right here. I'm up 347 bucks, but I only shorted 2 Bitcoin. I do have my stops at 100, because if we go over 100, I think there's a possibility we come up to 786. That's where I will be looking to put more shorts in. About 101 to about 101,500 to 102,000, somewhere in that area, which, if that's the case, I think this would have been a big wave 2, and we have a wave 3 coming that's a lot lower than people want to know about. I'm not even going to talk about it right now. But let's see what's going on with. What's up, Bear and the Boss Lady? Discount said. All right, what is taking so long? It's 10:01. No announcement yet. What's happening? Are they gonna give us the announcement or what? Let me get over here real quick and see if it's on another. So is the music all right now? See here. Nope. So this may be, it may be a while before we get this. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously they are in no hurry. Music's good. Yeah, so the music isn't mine. This is on the CNBC page. We're kind of just waiting, and we're gonna wait and see what happens with the trade deal announcement here. You guys, there's a chat in here you guys can read. I don't know. This is on the CNBC channel, so hopefully it'll start at some point. Hey guys, if you're watching my video, hit the like button. It's right there if you're watching on a PC. Uh-oh, is it starting? Oh man, we got pictures of the White House. What's up, Rambler? Guys, don't forget, we get 200. Well, while we're waiting for this, I'm going to show you guys real quick. So we have until tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day that you can sign up using my Prime XBT link. You will get up to a $10,000 bonus, 100% of whatever you deposit. If you deposit $100, they put in $100 towards your margin. If you put in 10,000, they'll put in 10,000 by using my link down below. If you're already signed up on Prime XBT using my account, you can put in promo code SAVVY100. It's all down below, explanations in the description of the video. And for also, there's stocks on there now. You can trade Tesla, Netflix, all kinds of stuff on Prime. That's why I love them. You can trade all markets, including crypto markets. And for those of you that just trade crypto and don't want to use you don't want a KYC and you want no VPN exchange, check out BITUNIX. They are another sponsor of the channel. Links down below. We are having a trading contest that started yesterday, May 7th. Basically, it's by your trading volume. We did this last month and we had some winners. Here's the winners. A few people got the Apple Watch, a bunch of $200 winners, a bunch of $50 winners, and $10 winners. Nobody got all the way up to the Model 3 Tesla or $35,000, but you could be the one. So if you want to sign up, you can use my link. It's only under my link that this is good for. You get a 10% cash back, up to $200 bonus, up to 125 times leverage. I don't suggest anybody do that, but hey, do what you got to do if that's your thing. That's very risky, so I wouldn't advise anyone to do that unless you're playing with money that you can afford to throw away, which is all you should be playing with. But anyways, those are the prizes. Model 3, Rolex, Vision Pro, you can take the money or the prize. So, all right, what's going on? Did they start this yet? Nothing yet. Oh, let's see what's happening. Actually, let's see if we can blow this up. There we go. Kind of get rid of the chat. Why isn't this showing? Or it should be showing. Wonder why the music cut off. Why did the music cut off? Let's see. Let's do. What is going on here? I have. Something don't seem right here. Skills. What is going? Seems like everything's set right. All right, let me double check here, make sure we're not missing the Trump tariff announcement. It's real funny how they place the timing of this stuff. They're not calling this anything to do with the tariff. They're only saying trade deal. Very weird. Let's see if anybody else is on there. Nope. Still just waiting. All right, I guess it's a wait and see game, guys. Music isn't playing anymore, so we ain't got to worry about that. News networks don't have yet on TV. I'm real curious to see what this big deal is, right? Like what is it? It's fun. Inquiring minds want to know the kind of stuff that keep us on edge, right? But I can assure you, it's a look here, not there thing. I mean, that's how it always is, right? Blue Thunder said no music is good. Yeah, it wasn't my music. It was the CNBC's music. BTC dominance the 71%. Is it? Let me zoom down here. Let's get out of the chat there. Boring. Come on. How are they going to make an announcement? Reminder of the size of the UK right here. This is the big trade deal. Let me look at something real quick. Just out of curiosity. Let's see how much we actually trade with the UK. I don't know. It's Google. You can't trust what comes on here all the time either, right? Okay, so here it is. In 2024, the U.S. goods trade with the United Kingdom was estimated at 148 billion, with U.S. goods exported to UK at 79 billion. So that's, and that was an increase, a 7.6% increase from the year before. With U.S. goods exporting, that's not a whole lot in reality. And I think a lot of these trade places, let me tell you about something. Some of you guys know that I was buying container loads from China, which I am no longer doing because of tariffs and everything else. And I'm honestly just kind of over it, looking for a new venture in that type of era. I was buying full containers of heavy equipment and then reselling it in the United States. So I have salespeople over there, and they've been contacting me like crazy saying, we're shipping everything to other countries and you can get them there with hardly any tariff or much lower tariff or whatever. So that's their workaround. I'm not doing it. I think you might be able to get in trouble for that, knowing what's going on, but I'm not being involved in it. But just to, telling you that I have contacts over there that I've mentioned because they want me to buy more, obviously. That's what they're doing. So it's just some inside information from somebody that's actually, doing stuff international. Pretty interesting. We have 50 likes. You need 50, or halfway there. We need 50 likes. Man, this 10 o'clock announcement, what's going on there? What are the markets doing? They're probably waiting for the markets to hit a point or something. So let's look at the Dow. Oh, the Dow is going down. So will they try to reverse it? Or, you know, as much as people don't want to believe in that, these lines on the screen right now dictate everything, right? And they that are in control move these lines. They know areas to watch before they put out a news event or do whatever. Just it's really strange. And the longer you're into this and the more you look at this stuff, the more you'll notice. Oh, and Trump again calls Powell a fool for not doing anything with the rates, right? Which again, I think it's just staged just to show, because in reality, raising rates is what we need. That's how we make a stronger dollar. That's how you make the economy thrive, not by printing a bunch of money, loaning it out for next to nothing, and just flooding everything with money. That creates, what's that create? We all know what that creates. We've seen it in 2020 and 2021 and 22. What's it called? Somebody, anybody. They're all working together. TG said, absolutely. I truly believe that. And they're all working together, and none of them are on our team. None of them. No matter what they say, like all this fraud that Doge found and all that crap, and who got arrested, who got, and then you got the people saying it takes time, they gotta build a case, and blah blah blah. Nothing's happening because they're all in cahoots, man. All in cahoots. Inflation, and Rambler gets it. Ding 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 ding. 56 likes. We got 94 viewers. Come on, guys, let's get to 100 likes, and I will throw out the promo code for $200 into your Prime XBT account. No deposit required for that. What is happening? So let's talk in the chat for a little while. Let's see what you guys are saying while we wait for this huge announcement. This ginormous, giant, great plan. Basically everything is totally scripted. I do 100% believe that. This is Hollywood, guys. Everything you watch on TV is Hollywood, guys. I honestly think you'll find better information at small creators on YouTube, right? They won't let the small creators that are giving good info out get big. They won't let it happen. If they're huge, all they're doing, they got huge because they're pumping the information they want you to hear. The biggest deal ever on trade deals. 100 viewers. Woo! Let's smash that like button, guys. We got 60 likes. If you're watching on your mobile, exit the chat. The thumbs up will pop up. Hit the thumbs up. Come right back in the chat, and we'll still be here waiting for you. Oh, so come on, you guys. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of the trade deal? What do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? A nothing burger? Do you think it's going to be this awesome deal? What do you think? You think you all got it bad? Take a look at Canada. People have lost their minds up here. I believe it. I believe it. Canada's always been really weird, though. Like, you know, they had to give land away to get people up there years and years and years ago. They gave land away, now they're taxing the shit out of people. Nothing burger, D-Man said. Alberta to be the 51st state. I am curious to see what this is. Come on, let's get it going. CNN, get your crap together, people. Come on, Trump, grab the mic. Tell us what the great deal is. You know, and I just want to put this, I don't hate Trump. Honestly, I mean, we had two choices, right? Or two said choices, really not choices. The two that they selected us to choose from. Trump was the better person, I believe, to choose between the two choices we had. But I don't believe that he has the power to really do anything. And, you know, I think he had a test run on, what was it called? What was that show he had? Somebody named the show he had down there. Then he said, and we voted for this shit. you know, Denny, you voted for it, but you got given the choices to vote for, right? Money brought you the choices to vote for. A good guy that doesn't have any money, that understands how he can fix stuff and make things good for the little guy, will never get backed by enough money to be in front of you for a vote. That's how it is everywhere. Does Prime allows U.S. citizen? VPN. Anybody that's on the internet without using a VPN, you're risky. I don't care if you're trading. I don't care if you're watching YouTube. I don't care what you're doing. If you're not using a VPN, you're leaving yourself how do you say that? Susceptible. I don't know if I said that right, but you're leaving yourself in danger if you're not using a VPN. I have a link to a VPN down below with some huge bonuses. Check it out if you haven't. There's many to choose from, so you don't have to use that, but there is a huge discount if you use my link below. Not voting is voting. I mean, pretty much, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Never heard it put that way, never said that, but I might start using that. Not voting is voting. Fat Ma says, hit the likes, guys. 63 likes. At 100 likes, I'll put in the promo code in the chat for $200 on Prime XBT. First one to use it gets it. 100 people, and we can only get 63 likes. Well, I could tell the traders versus non-traders. The non-traders don't give a crap about hitting the like button because they can give a crap about $200 trading bonus. It's literally a free $200 to trade with. You get to keep the profits. Remember Brewster's millions when he ran? None of the above. I was hoping less than 50% would vote just to prove a point. Unfortunately, man, I think very few people see what is happening. I think very few people see what's going on or are willing to see what's going on, right? It's just really strange. Hold on. Has it came on any Trump trade deal live? Is it showing up on any? Because this just looks like it's refreshing. Oh, still nothing. Did we miss it? Oh. Oh, nothing yet, guys. I'm going to stay on until they put it on. This is irritating me. Why would they take so long? 10 o'clock. They didn't need a 10 o'clock reversal in the markets, so they ain't going to put it on at 10. I mean, really, how hard is it to frickin'... You told us, what, 18 hours ago that you were going to do this at 10? Come on. I understand there's crap happens, but really? Really? Just come on and talk your smack. Talk your smack. They rather live in Disneyland or some stuff. I'll say stuff. Not voting is good because the winner with small voters frequency has no people behind him. Don't know how to say that in English properly. Sorry. Powell, I get that. Or Paywell. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm going to call you M. Yeah, I get that. We totally understood what you said there. Maybe they backed out. Or maybe it never happened. They're still trying to get him to do it. Like I said, I think all the leaders, right, are under the same umbrella of, wow, I just see my vape there, forgot. It's been about 7 months now since I quit vaping. But anyways, you guys didn't need to hear that, but it was just funny because I still had it sitting here and forgot all about it. Another thing I think they try to hide with all the BS is the true shape of the economy, right? The economy is in a shithole right now, period. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. And now they're just blaming it on trade deals, things like that. I don't believe it's. And one other thing, is there anybody from China in here? Just curious. Anybody here from China? Put one in the chat. Or if you've been to China for a long period of time, meaning months, right? Let me know below. Because I think the perception that the U.S. gives the people of China is way off. I could be wrong, but like I said, I got salespeople over there I talk to. I've seen the inside of their homes on, what we chat live, which is the only way I can really talk to them a lot of times, or email. Email is better, but if like on the phone, it was too hard to understand what some of them were saying. Some of them were better than others, but nobody in here from China, huh? Probably because China's not allowed on the internet, maybe, but they still do. But they wouldn't want to get caught saying something in here, I'm sure. But I think our perception from over there is a lot. We picture it as a bunch of child labor and all that because that's what we're told, but I really don't think it's anything like that. I mean, I guess it could be in some places, but I've had tours of the factories where I was getting stuff and everybody there was, for the most part, happy, good attitude. The arrow slits in Great Wall are from outside facing in China. The live event's not started yet. Is it getting ready or what? Starting soon. It's been starting soon for an hour. Come on, people. Get your shit together. Oolong is Chinese. So anyways, so over there, they don't have it. The people that I've talked to don't have it that bad over there. They actually have it pretty damn good, honestly. From what I've seen, right? And they say, so if the trade war happened and they stopped everything coming from China, I get it. Trying to hurt China's economy, yes. U.S. not buying stuff from them would put a hit on, their economy. But in reality, their economy is huge. Their economy is bigger than ours anymore. I think from looking at the numbers and the charts, they do quite a bit over there. And what was I trying to say with that? Yeah, just the perception they give us. And I'm sure China does that too. People probably look at us however they want them to look at us. Just as in, oh, here we go, guys. Looks like they might, nope. Thought they were getting their shit together. Should I try a different one to make sure? Nope, none of them are popping up yet. Come on, people. Maybe YouTube's screwing with them. So, anybody else have any ideas on this? I can't believe that you guys aren't giving your opinion on this. Bro, who cares about his speech? if you paid attention to my channel, the one, we're watching it as in to hear if it's BS or we're watching it for humor, right? Humor. I am watching this live trade deal for humor. Bro, I don't believe any of this. As you guys know, I believe Trump's puppet. Kamala was all politicians are puppets at this point. If they're big enough to have the stage, they're a puppet. They're scripted. They're told what to tell you by a very small group of people that run it all. And so the countries, when you hear about countries fighting, I don't believe that's the case at all either. I believe it's a war machine, a way to push money around. They already have control of everything. Slavery didn't die. We are slaves of the system. But we can be happy still if you play your cards right. Wow, this thing is not going still. What is happening? Oh, come on. I cannot believe this thing isn't coming on. Guys, you only need 33 more likes for the $200 promo code. Hit the likes. Alexander said, war is real. Trust me. The war is real. For sure, the war is real. I didn't say the war wasn't real. I said it's made up shit that creates the war. They do that on purpose to make money. All that is people making serious money. Whenever there's a war, look at the stocks of all the companies that make things that are used in a war. They crank up. It's a big money thing. Just like the big C was great for the medical field, right? How can they be so organized without the truth ever coming out? How many people would need to be involved to orchestrate something so complicated around the whole world? Have you ever watched the stuff on? Have you ever watched Snow? And that's probably a small part of it, but watch Snow. That'll tell you. That'll tell you they got shit on everybody, so nobody can say shit. There's a lot. Watch Snow. That's all I got to say. And that was freaking what, 15 years ago. When he discovered this stuff. They've got a lot more technology now than they had then, buddy. Savvy, do you think BTC will go up from here? I just went over that a second ago. If it goes up from here, this is where I'm looking for the rejection between 1019 and 1025, somewhere in there. You may get a wick above, but I think that'll be it. I talked about that yesterday. If you guys watched yesterday's video, it was a recorded video because I had a delivery coming, a big one. I had to be, and they gave me a time frame of 8 to 12, so I had to make sure I was here so I could open the garage and have them put the stuff in the garage. I was going to put it in the barn, but I ended up putting it in the garage because we had enough room for it. But what I was talking about yesterday is if it does get up to that 0.786, maybe a little above, I think that would be a wave 2, right? So if it got up there in our wave 3, it's going to put our target down to, for wave 3, about 45,000, if that's the case. If it is a ABC correction, whoops, it would be to the 1-to-1 extension from there. I will be looking to enter shorts, and my shorts close at 100 if, why is this not cloning? Come on, man. Guys, I used to love technology. I'm literally getting sick of it. They create more problems when they try to better things because they just run out of shit to do with shit, so they change shit up to keep these people working, and they make shit more complicated, and it screws up more And they make stuff more difficult instead of easier to use now, right? It's just gotten out of hand, ridiculous. To give the code people jobs, I guess. They're making up problems that they don't have. How many people do you think might be a part of this group and higher control of everything? It's in tiers, man. It's in tiers. It's a lot of people, but the people on the top it's very small. There's families, right? There's families. So you got to do the research yourself, bud. There's a certain few families that control everything, right? They're people that got into power when everything was starting to get created, when societies started. These families are old families that have total control of shit. They're people that don't know how to grocery shop. They don't know how to pump their own gas. They don't know shit. They have no idea what our life is like. Those are the people that control shit. We're like ants to them. Some people in Europe think that Americans are the biggest war makers, and that's their way to make money, as they produce very little other than weapons. You're talking about the war machine, but I mean, they would think that because they don't look at it as a big picture, that there's some families and there's small groups of people running the show. And that doesn't mean just in America. That's worldwide. For instance, right? You got all these countries that can never agree on anything, right? They never agree on nothing. They're constantly bickering, arguing, at war and everything. But what was it, in 1950 something, they signed the Antarctica Treaty. They all agree that nobody can go into Antarctica. Why? How can they all agree on that, right? If that doesn't tell you something is weird, then I don't know what to tell you. And, right, so you got the stuff going on in Ukraine, and the little actor president guy running around acting like he's doing stuff in his little jumpsuit, and nothing ever happened to him yet. I would say there's something weird there. Something in Antarctica. Yeah, I was watching a thing the other day. I don't remember the name of the channel. We got 19 likes to go, guys, and I give you that $200 promo code in the chat. But anyways, I was watching it the other day, and they were saying okay, here's the thing. And it comes with some of my real life experience, and I'll tell you after I tell you what I was watching. At that stage, nobody really cared about Antarctica. That's an impressive family. Mind can't organize a day without arguing. Generations of family members achieving what unity sounds impossible. These families, have you ever heard of Rothschild? There's families that own the oil industry. There's families that have now become leaders of the electric family, and they kind of that's you know what, I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain things to people that have been brainwashed, so let's get on with it. Anyways, so the Antarctica thing, right? I watched a video on this. I was on my way. I had a guy working on one of my side-by-sides, right? My favorite one, which is my workhorse for around the property, with a, has a dump on it and everything else. So anyways, over the winter, I blew the motor. I sucked up snow, which turned into water, which screwed up my little diesel engine. So I had that getting repaired. I went to go pick it up. On my way to pick it up, I was watching a video because it was a little drive. And I was watching a video about Antarctica and this whistleblower. You can look up maybe Antarctica whistleblower. I think it's called ARP, AARP over there or something. I can't remember right now. But I was watching it, listening to this whistleblower. He's went in front of Congress and everything and said these guys are controlling weather. They're changing the way storms go. And he explained all this stuff around there. And he had worked there for a while. Right, it's basically the only place in Antarctica that we know about. And so I watched this. It was probably about an hour long. And when I got there to pick up my side-by-side, he's a good mechanic. And he had was out of work at a period of time, and he was whatever online searching for jobs or whatever, and it came up listed to Antarctica. He had to go there for 9 months to this place, right? It was, you know, obviously government job. So he didn't end up going, but just hearing that story and that they worked for 9 months, and then you don't know if you're going to come back for the next 9 months or not, right? It's pretty interesting, the shit that goes on over there. You're absolutely right about the families. Don't try to explain. Everyone can't grasp that type of information. Now, people don't, but people just, because they want to, I think a lot of people just want to believe that that stuff's not possible and that they can get enough information off watching TV to understand the world, when that's all false information on television and internet. They own it all, guys. They own it all. So watch small creators, because they get away with saying more. If they start to get really big, then they've shifted to saying what the powers that be want them to say, right? I could switch over and say what a lot of other crypto YouTubers say, and you could get big really fast because you would push a narrative, right? If you're not pushing that narrative, they're not pushing your channel. It's 100% absolutely true. That's why no matter what, we stay at 100 concurrent viewers here, and my videos stop at 1,000 views when I used to get 5,000 views in the first hour, right? But now that I've started this and actually started talking about things, because I'm just going to say what I believe now. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be molded into this scared to say shit anymore, because I did that before, right? I had the problem, like the first time he went in for office, I was major supporter, and I had said some things about the 2020 disease, and that happened to me then. It dropped me down to, like, just like now, couldn't get more than 100 viewers in a live, couldn't get more than 1,000 views on a video. So and then about a year from that, because people were saying that's why, so I didn't talk about that no more. I didn't talk about politics. I talked about Bitcoin going up, and boom, my channel blew up, right? Because I didn't speak my mind. I choose to speak my mind now. And I thank you guys for watching. 15 more likes, guys. If you can't be genuine and real, it's game over. Yes, sir. 100%. I will remain genuine and real. I can't believe that this isn't on yet. What the frick time is it? He's only 38 minutes late. I didn't see this a day ago. Trump and Canadian Prime Minister meeting gets heated. I can remember another meeting that got heated. Yeah, this guys, let me know what you think about inflation. Do you think inflation's actually gone down from a day-to-day normal human's perspective on things and the things we buy and see, right? You know, they give out fake numbers in the media and whatnot, and they leave out certain things to make the numbers look good. But living now and living just 5 years ago is double. It costs double for everything. That was a quick inflation, and it has not went down, in my opinion, at all. Nothing's getting cheaper anywhere. Wow, you guys aren't very talkative in the chat. So just to see who's actually listening, type 1 in the chat if you're hearing what I'm saying, because there may be some bots in here just waiting for that promo code. Please hit 1 if you are actually a human watching this. Let's see how many ones we get here. What's up, Crypto Kings? What's up, Overbro Media? Gillian, Anthony, Jack, Trevor, Omri, Demon Slayer, Fiomi, Adam. I smoked 6 pork butts for the graduation party tomorrow. Love the green egg, but damn, just what a pork butt cost has doubled. Yeah. I had a buddy that done ribs, and yeah, he said it's super expensive now. Inflation is going to get way worse. Can you look at the DAX 40, please? Here in a little bit. I want to see if this comes on first. Vampa. And actually, probably not going to go over a lot of charts today. We will tomorrow, though. What's up, Tuberta? Big Boss Man, Ralph, Amrita. Oh, you're driving? All good. Rambler, Tuber T, Robert Cosa. What's happening? Just working in the meantime. Wagyu strips, $150 a pound. Yeah, I remember when that was like, what was it, like 50 or 70 bucks a pound in 2020. Unbelievable, man. Thanks for keeping it real savvy. Right on. Right on, Dallas. Driving Dallas streets. Jamie. Well, thanks, guys. It's nice to know some of you guys are actually listening and paying attention. We only need 9 more likes, and you get the... oh, shoot. Yeah, 9 more likes, and you get that in there. And why is this thing not starting? Are they actually... So, all right. There's just another reason. So if why to trust the government and the people in it, they can't even freaking do their announcement on time. What the fuck? The hell is going on, man? Get on. Tell us about your little cute little trade deal and how great it is. Right, and I'm on the other side. We didn't make that deal, and if you tell it, we're going to go ahead and tell people we didn't make the deal unless you give us this or something. I don't know. It's just, this shit's crazy anymore, man. Sorry, someone came to the door. What did I miss? You didn't miss anything, Blue. I'm just rambling and ranting and doing what I do. Really wish... If it's going to take much longer, guys, I'm not going to sit around and wait for this huge announcement. Huge. Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. I got to take this. Sorry about that, guys. That was my bank. Since you have to, when you want a decent amount of funds, you have to order it. That was them calling, saying my money's in, since you can't just go get all the cash you want, even though it's your cash. Blue Thunder said, no, please stay on. I like listening to you talk about the non-crypto stuff. You are right about the world. The world is a crazy place, man. There is no deal. It's all fluff, just a way of pumping the stock market. Right. I mean, duh. Literally everything being said and all the announcements and all the everything lately are about pumping markets that will be dumping on your heads soon. They're kicking the can down the road. They're making this crash much worse than it has to be, because when it happens, whoo, man, the opportunities for those that aren't buying into this BS is going to be humongous. Humongous. Huge. Distribution and then crash. Yep. They're already, that crash is distribution. That's people dumping. That, right? Distribution is taking everything they bought and distributing it out to the idiots buying. That's what distribution is. At the top. We're at the top, boys and girls. We are at the top, in my opinion, my humble opinion. the top of everything. I mean, people want to look at the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. It's a bull market 4 years, bear market year. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. This market, the big market, is in a 100-year cycle, I do believe. I am going to keep telling people this until I can't, because look at this. I believe in market psychology. I believe in market patterns. I believe in the way markets move. And this is a pattern. This is a 100-year cycle that is going to be ugly. This thing is huge. This is the top of the 100-year cycle, right? This was the top between 1916 and 1930. This is the top between 1998 to 2024. This is the peak of the bubble. The peak of the bubble. Man, I can't wait. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty stoked. The crash is them taking profits. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, people talk about, oh, the stock market's crashed, like the whole world fell apart, when really somebody took their profits and made a shit ton of money. The money didn't disappear. The money did not disappear. The money just went into the pockets of the winner. It just baffles me the way the perception is so skewed in the world today. Can't fight against Tether, Craig. Tether. Oh, Tether. Tether is a pump and dump feature, right? It is a pump and dump feature that it'll be known. It's going to be interesting when it happens, guys. And if you think crypto is a safe place, Adam, self-taught through a lot of losses, a lot of pain, which even if you have a mentor, you're going to have that, right? You're never going to get in and just be a straight winner from day one. It takes a long time to learn to trade. I tell everybody that. And guys, trade with money you can afford to lose. It's a lot less dangerous. Gillian. Yeah. That the craziest illusion. Energy does not disappear. Right. It's just transferred. Everything's transferred. Doesn't disappear. They manufacture every bull market to keep the miners profitable. That's BTC in a nutshell. Kinda. But not really. It will end. Bitcoin depends on traditional markets. I'll say that again. Bitcoin depends on traditional markets. One more time for the kids at home. Bitcoin depends on traditional markets. And when the traditional markets crash, Bitcoin will crash multiple times worse than the market, because it needs the market to survive. I don't care what Tether does at that point. Tether will disappear at that point. All the money is flowing into gold. My neighborhood is a retired banker, and he said he is 100% in gold. But that's the thing. Even bankers or people that work for the banks, they don't know anything special, right? You talked to a banker 5 years ago, they laughed and said crypto would never be anything or never be nothing. Now the banks are dealing with them, right? And that's talking to higher people in the banks 5 years ago, right? So nobody knows, like, nobody really has insights. If you ain't in the top, at the top, the very top, or in the political ring, right, that get paid to make decisions to benefit the people paying them, unless you're in that circle, you really have no clue what the hell's going on. Looking at the markets, understanding markets. So a lot of why markets move the way they move, right, is human emotion. Human emotion never changes. Never. It will not change. Gold is and always has been the best hedge against inflation, but not going to make a lot of money from it unless you trade it. Denny, I guess it's a decent hedge, but it crashes right along with the market. Gold does, silver does, everything does. Everything goes down. Why? Because the big boys, the people in control of the money, cash out on all that shit. They cash out on everything. They cash out at the top. They distribute it to everybody. They cash out. They hold on to the dollar. The dollar. Once everything has bottomed or close to it, they start buying it all back up. So they multiply their wealth like you wouldn't believe. Banks are like governments. They want control. Bitcoin is out of their control. Bitcoin is not out of the government's control. The government, if it didn't want Bitcoin, it would make Bitcoin illegal and prosecute everybody, because it's the most traceable money there is. The most traceable. If you've ever exited your crypto, you have to exit in a bank, right? They know everything you've done in crypto. Everything. Bitcoin is not anonymous. Banks totally can control it all they want. Oh, we got something coming in, guys.
With this deal, the UK joins the United
Here we go.
States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade. The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for American beef,
Can you hear it now?
ethanol, and virtually all of the products produced by our great farmers.
You guys hear it?
And our secretary, as you know, of agriculture is here. Brooke, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
You'll let the farmers know. In addition, the UK will reduce or eliminate numerous non-tariff barriers that unfairly discriminated against American products, but this is now turning out, I think, really to be a great deal for both countries, because it'll be really great for the UK also. So they're opening up the country. Their country is a little closed, and we appreciate that. They'll also be fast-tracking American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks.
Final
We'll
details
have it
being
all
written up,
very
so they ain't written up yet.
conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think
So there's
just
no
about
deal yet.
everything's been approved. So good for both countries. And we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products that weren't allowed. And they'll end up getting products that they'll be able to price, and if they like them better and we make great products, they'll be buying those products, but they were not available in the UK. Furthermore, in a historic step, the deal includes plans that will bring the United Kingdom into the economic security alignment with the United States. That's the first of its kind. So we have a big economic security blanket, and that's very important, and we feel very, very comfortable with that, because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. I mean, a lot of people say our greatest ally. I don't want to insult people
still hear
by
echo?
saying that, but I can say it's certainly one of our greatest, and right at the top, and they're the first one we're talking about. And by the way, we have many
Good now.
meetings planned today and tomorrow, and every country wants to be making deals. And we have a meeting, as you know, Scott will be going over to Switzerland on Saturday, and that'll be very, very interesting. We'll find out, but I think they want to make a deal very badly too. Both countries have agreed that the economic security is national security, and will be working together as allies to ensure that we have a strong industrial base, appropriate export controls, and protections for key technologies and industries like steel. Steel is a big factor. Both countries will become stronger with steel and things necessary for military. You know, we used to build ships and other things literally at a level that nobody's ever seen.
No? Just curious.
We haven't. We've eased up, and I would say that the UK certainly eased up, but now we're going to be uneasing both, and we work together. Once again, I want to thank Prime Minister Starmer. He's been terrific for his partnership in this matter. The special relationship and external bond, it's really an external and an internal bond between our two countries, will soon be stronger than ever before. And we really do. We have a great relationship. I want to just say that the representatives of UK have been so professional. And it's been an honor doing business with all of them, and in particular the Prime Minister. And I'd like to introduce him now to say a few words. Mr. Prime Minister, please take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President, Donald. And this is a really fantastic, historic day in which we can announce this deal between our two great countries. And I think it's a real tribute to the history that we have of working so closely together. Can I pay tribute, Donald, to your negotiating team as well, particularly Howard and Jameson, who've done an incredible job, a very professional job, and my team as well. Two negotiating teams have worked at pace now for a number of weeks to bring in this deal today. Really important deal. This is going to boost trade between and across our countries. It's going to not only protect jobs but create jobs, opening market access. And as you say, Donald, the timing couldn't be more apt, because not only was it 80 years ago today that victory came for Europe after and at the end of the Second World War, but of course on that day the UK and the US stood together as the closest of allies. And Donald, I think even down to the hour, because you may or may not know that it was about this time of day, exactly 80 years ago, that Winston Churchill announced victory in Europe, and that led to great celebrations across Europe, across America, but particularly in the United Kingdom.
Oh my God, so much kissing ass lately.
Putting bunting up.
Or
going
appearing
up
to kiss ass.
So to be able to announce this great deal on the same day, 80 years forward, almost at the same hour, and as we were 80 years ago, with the UK and the US standing side by side, I think is incredibly important and makes this truly historic. That close relationship has endured over those 80 years. As you know, Donald, when it comes to defence and security and intelligence sharing, of course,
congratulations,
there are no two countries that are closer than our two countries.
Right on.
And now we take this into new and important territory.
So it seems like you'll be allowed to speak on national television with Trump if you kiss his ass. So all you gotta kiss his ass and you're good.
Arrangements. We've always had a fair and balanced arrangement between our countries.
He loves it.
Builds on that. Hugely important.
Again, nothing against Trump.
Like
he is who he is,
and for steel
but he's a
and
puppet.
aluminium and so many others. And yes, we can finish ironing out some of the details, but there's a fantastic platform here, including, of course, on the tech side, where I think I'm right in saying we're the only two Western countries with trillion-dollar sectors when it comes to tech. And in the end, it comes down to, as you say, Donald, economic security is national security. On national security, we've been absolutely the closest of allies for so many years, keeping the peace through that close alliance, that friendship. And now we add to that this deal.
Well, I gave the code out, and a lot of you are sticking around.
And I want to thank you for your leadership on that, Donald, and for the way in which your team have negotiated this. And I'm so pleased that we've got this deal, we've finalised it, and we've built an incredible platform for the future. So thank you so much. Donald, I'm now going to go and do a press conference. I think you have your press in with you. But on the details, I think if you've got
gathering from this,
we can deal with that through one of my team.
That's great. Well, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much. It's an honor. We're going to have a continued, maybe a better relationship than ever before. You know, I don't know if the media knows, but the U.S. and U.K. have been working for years to try and make a deal. Never quite got there.
Yeah.
It did with this Prime Minister. So I want to just congratulate you.
Well, with this President, this Prime Minister, we've managed to achieve what many people have tried to achieve for many years.
That's right.
And I'm really pleased, and it feels completely historic and on a special 80-year anniversary as well. So, Donald, thank you so much. It's really good to have got this deal over the line. Tribute to both teams, tribute to our countries, and tribute to your leadership.
Thank you. Well, it really is a great thing.
Trump is
And,
really
you go do your
doing,
press conference, and I'll see you
things to
soon.
help
Maybe speak
out
to you later.
everybody, the normal
But thank
people.
you very
Yeah.
much, and
I
an
don't
incredible thing. I
think
can't
I'm
tell you
wrong,
that
but
for
God,
so
I
many
hope I am.
years,
That would
even
be
as I
awesome
sat,
if
everybody
he was
talked
really
and
doing
talked and
stuff to
talked
help
about a
us.
deal with. It just seemed like a natural deal, but it was not done. But now it was done with us, so I feel very proud to have been a part of it. Keir, thank you very much.
Thanks, Donald, and we'll speak again soon.
Like I
Very
said,
good.
it's like
So
a
long. Bye.
stage, and just a bunch of actors and puppets, and they just look at them.
Why don't I do this? Why don't I have our Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, give a little description of the deal pretty quick? And then
I'm going to turn mine up a little bit just so I can hear it better.
The good side,
let
a
me
very
know if
nice
it
side.
echoes.
We'll
I'll
be
turn it back
speaking
down.
about it also, maybe, from, so you get a pretty equal. I think it's a very, it's just been a deal that was, we thought, very complicated. It became very simple. It's opening up the country that we really didn't have the kind of access to that I would have thought. I was surprised. I think it's why the deal never got done before. It was, they've been working on this deal for 25 years. And we got it done, and we got it done. Really, it's going to be great for both countries. So, Howard, if you could go, and then somebody else, you may have, you'll pick whoever you want who'd like to do it. I have a feeling you're going to do it, right? So you guys go ahead, and then we'll take questions right after that. But I think you'll get a pretty good understanding of how big it is. It's a very large deal, very big deal. And Howard, go ahead.
So the UK is the 6th largest economy in the world and the 4th largest that we export to, right? So it's a huge market, a top 10 market. If you remember Liberation Day, they were at 10% because we have balanced trade with the UK, right? They say they have a surplus, but of course that counts gold bullion, which is, so let's just call it balanced trade. So how do you open up a market in balanced trade? People think it's impossible. They've always thought it was impossible until President Trump came on the scene and changed the way things work. So here's what we've got. We've opened up new market access, ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural products. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American exporters. So the question is, why would they do that now? Because they've never done it before. And we still have our 10% tariff on, which will produce $6 billion of revenue for the United States. So the idea was, how do they keep their jobs, protect their economy, and do the best for their people while opening the market for us? And the way is they studied it, their team was exceptional, and they tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people and try to send them over to America. So why were they always favoring others and not us? And what they've done is they've found the ways to do that so that we have new access, right? But the UK workers are protected, and that was the balance. So we did a deal with them in automobiles, and
Like the markets
if you're
went
not
down
building
a little bit.
here,
Let me see something.
we charge you a 25% tariff. But the president, and by the way, I want to make this clear, while Jameson and I worked hard, this was the president's deal. And people think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to my left. And if you don't think that we take advantage of him calling the prime minister and getting that deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done because he understands business, he understands deals, and that's why we're here today. So he agreed they could send 100,000 cars into America and only pay a 10% tariff. And that protects their car industry. And remember, we do 16 million cars a year. So this is only like 0.6%. But for the UK auto people, this is tens of thousands of jobs that the president agreed to protect for them. So he made that deal, right? Then steel and aluminum, right? Their steel business has been destroyed like everybody else has been destroyed by people dumping steel into their markets. And British Steel had announced it was closing down. So the British government, as part of this deal, nationalized British Steel, and they're going to match the kinds of models we do. They'll put tariffs on, they'll put quotas on. They want to do it with America so they can be part of the resurgence of steel and aluminum in America, and that saves them, again, thousands and thousands of jobs. So if you go step by step,
Right, more cars that won't
Aero
sell.
and commercial planes,
If ain't nobody
they
got no
sell
money to buy
Rolls-Royce
cars, they ain't
engines
gonna
to
sell,
Boeing.
right?
We've agreed to let Rolls-Royce
raising property
engines and those
taxes
kind
and
of
keep
plane
taxing
parts
the shit out
to
of
come
people
over
and see how much
tariff-free.
stuff they buy.
And what you're going to hear today is there's going to be an announcement at the UK that they are buying $10 billion worth of Boeing planes later today, but I'm going to let the name of the airline announce it because that's theirs to do it. Part of this deal was always to do it together and to do it strong, and you can see the numbers on this board. Everything about this board works exceptionally well for the United States of America.
This
It
is the
lays out the
1-minute Dow
plan
chart
that you
on
can
the
work
left.
with us in autos, you can work with us with aero and commercial,
Boeing going
you can
up,
work with
of
us in
course.
pharmaceuticals
So
if
what
you
are
have a
they
supply
doing? They're
chain
pumping
that is secure and
certain
protected
stocks
in national security.
that will
so
come
we feel
down.
really good about the deal. You've heard the Prime Minister, he feels really good about the deal, right? And we started at 10% and we ended at 10%. And the market for America is better. And this is a perfect example of why Donald Trump produced Liberation Day. People don't understand he gets things done in a matter of time. This would have taken Jameson and I 3 years, maybe. And instead, we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we worked for Donald Trump. So Jameson, my partner in all this, maybe Jameson, you'd like to talk a little, and then we'll turn it over to the UK.
Sure, happy to do that. Everyone has great remarks. I just have to echo
Boeing went
President and Prime
vertical, of
Minister when we
course
talk
it did.
about VE Day. This is something
They
we've
didn't
been waiting
mean
for
to
decades,
mention
and
it.
there's no more
They were
appropriate
setting
date to
all
do
this shit
And
up. That's what
when
took
we
so long.
step back and we look back a few weeks from now, or months from now, or years from now, we're gonna look
All
back
these
at this
guys
day and-
are making a
and
shitload of money
Better
right
appreciate
now.
the significance, I think. And I'll just say as well, in terms of negotiating,
And when they
UK
dump it,
negotiators,
they'll make a shitload more.
We got one right here. Did an incredible job, right? This is why you win wars, right? When you act like this, and the ambassador, he knows more about trade than a lot of us.
Everything you hear
here.
and see is about the stock market.
And I would
Has
say on
no
this deal, Mr. President, what we've
no
shown is that it is
concern
time
about
to change
a
the way
normal
we
human.
trade.
None.
People said we couldn't do a global tariff. We did a global tariff. They said no one would want to deal with us. People want a deal. They said no one give offers. You saw that stack of offers I showed you yesterday of all those countries. Said we wouldn't get deals, and here we are with the deal with the 6th largest economy. We've agreed to have fair and reciprocal trade, and we've done it in record time.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ambassador, please. Well, Mr. President, thank you very much indeed in hosting us this morning. And thank you very much indeed also for that very typical 11th hour intervention by you with your phone call to the President, demanding even more out of this deal than any of us expected. So thank you for that. The Prime Minister was delighted, obviously, to take that call late at night. But you took it to another level, and I think the point I would make is twofold. One is that if we're going to rebalance and rebuild
within the next couple
international
days,
trade in a way that serves all our interests, then we're better doing that together than separately and apart, and that's what we're on a mission to do. But secondly, you've done what you said you would do. You said to the Prime Minister when he came and we visited in the Oval that you would do a good trade deal with the United Kingdom, that you would do it
and subscribe to the channel if you haven't.
and that we would be first.
Hit that
and you have
notification
delivered
bell.
that.
We go live every
You've been
morning at
true to your word.
9:45.
So thank you very much indeed for that. For us, it's not the end. It's it's the end just of the beginning. I mean, there is yet more we can do in reducing
they've
tariffs
put out the news
and
to
trade
pump the stock.
barriers
Let's
so
see
as
what
to
happens
open up our markets
their
to each
explanation
other
of why they
even more
dump
than
it.
we're agreeing to do today. But it also provides us with the platform, the springboard, to do what I think will be even more valuable for both our countries in the future, and that's creating a technology partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom so that we can harness science and technology in order to create future industries and future jobs. And to do that together in the way we work so closely already in the national security and defense area, we can just take that to yet further areas of science, enterprise and endeavour. So we're looking forward to doing that in the coming months. You've launched us extremely well today. It just, in my view, as the Prime Minister has said, just shows what two countries who trust each other, who are confident in each other, and familiar with each other, can do, not just for ourselves,
Sherlock, that's
but for
why they
those,
said
the rest of the
they
world
already bought
who need to benefit from a
way
bigger
before they
and
mentioned
better
it.
international trading system.
Thank you very much. It was beautifully stated. What a beautiful accent, too. I'd like to have that
Saying
accent.
shit
Thank you.
because
Mother would be proud.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
James Matthews from Sky News.
Yes.
Can I ask, why Britain and why now? And you've described this deal as a full and comprehensive deal.
I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit.
So it's the end of the beginning. Clearly, there's much more work still to do. With respect, are you overstating the reach and significance of this deal? Because you're a president who needs a result at a difficult time.
I think that it's a great deal for both parties. It's for us. We're opened up. I didn't know how closed it was. Quite closed, the market, as you know, the UK. And it opens up a tremendous market for us. And it works out very well, very well. And a lot of assets. You see the chart, and those are tremendous assets. But we've been trying, and when you say why us, meaning your country, we've been trying for years, and they've been trying for years to make a deal, including when I was in the, first term. It would always be people talking, but they weren't getting it done. But for 25 years before that, they were trying always to make a deal, a very significant deal. I actually, until I looked at the numbers, I didn't realize this is a very conclusive deal.
I'm sorry
but
for the
we think we
commentary.
can grow it even
I'll
from
shut up.
that. But this is a maxed out deal, not like you said it. You said it really incorrectly. This is a maxed out deal that we're going to make bigger, and we make it bigger through growth. But we have tremendous assets involved. I was surprised to see how big your country is in trade,
Yes,
actually.
they don't.
One of the biggest in technology and so many other things. It's agriculture. I really didn't know. It's depending on your definition, it's from 4 to 5 to 6. That's pretty big in the world. So I was very impressed by that. But we're going to take it to new levels. It's a very big deal right now, but I think it is going to grow just of its
They
own
made a
volition.
plan.
It's
They
gonna
was like,
grow.
everybody's
And
gonna buy it
over
when we're
time,
talking.
there'll
As soon
be
as Trump
changes
starts
made.
talking,
There'll be
let's go.
adjustments made because we're flexible. We'll see things that we can do even better. But it's very conclusive, and we think everyone's going to be happy, and the people of your country are going to be very impressed with the result, and they'll be able to buy from more people. They'll be able to price things differently. They'll be able to get some products that aren't available to them now that we make better than anybody in the world. And it's just something that it's a great thing that it came together. It's so
It's going to be tremendous.
nice
It's
because we
amazing.
have
Oh, it's
many
great.
countries
Trump,
want to
you're
make a
great.
deal.
Let me kiss your ass.
And
Well,
many
wow.
countries are
This is
very
the greatest
unhappy
thing
that
ever. What?
we
Tell us what it
happened
is.
to choose this one, to be honest with you. But it's a long time, our oldest ally, or just about. Guess a couple of people claim that too, but let's put it right at the top. I think it's going to be something very special for UK and special for the United States. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. How close are you to more deals, and when do you expect the next to be announced?
Well, very close. We have numerous deals. I know Howard's going back. As soon as this is finished, your press conference, he's got numerous. And Scott, who's right over here, who's fantastic, by the way. You were great on television this morning. I watched you. That was very good. He gave them a little lesson in the world and economics. But Scott's going to be going to Switzerland, meeting with China, and they very much want to make a deal. We can all play games. Who made the first call? Who didn't make it doesn't matter. It only matters what happens in that room. But I will tell you that China very much wants to make a deal. We'll see how that works out.
That's funny. 'Cause
Every country throughout
China
the
keeps
last 40,
saying
50
they don't
years has
have any
literally
intention
ripped
on
off
making
the
a
United
deal.
States on trade, on military, on protection, on all the different
But
things. And
they're both
we
buddies,
are now
I'm
making
sure.
fair deals, and in this case, it's great because we really weren't very much involved. You have the European Union, which is, I think you made the right decision years ago. I don't know if you remember, I was opening up Turnberry the day that you were voting, and they asked me, would it happen or would it not happen? I said, no, I think they're going to go their own separate way. I think it's better for them. And they did. I think it's going to end up being a very smart decision. But a big part of that decision was always that you'd be able to make a deal with the United States, and they were unable to do that. But now they made it, and it's a tremendous, it's very important. That was always a big part of your decision on
I
Brexit.
sent a message.
And,
I'm hearing about
they were
all the
never able
banks
to make that
shutting
deal. It
down
was,
in China.
it was a tough
I
one.
sent a message
And this one
earlier
was,
to
it's amazing with time. This one just went very
one of my
smoothly,
sales
went
people.
quickly and smoothly.
She hasn't got
and
back to
a
me,
lot of
but
common sense,
it
as
is
I like to
nighttime
say.
there, I
There's tremendous
believe,
common
so
sense, but it's going to
I'll
make
let you
your
guys
country
know
much
tomorrow.
bigger.
I don't
in
believe
terms
it's
of
as
trade,
bad
and it's
as
going to make our
you
country
see
much
some of
bigger
these
in terms of
YouTubers
trade,
and
too.
stuff.
Yes, it is. Okay, go ahead behind you, and then we'll get you. You're with who?
The BBC.
Oh, good, very nice. They treat me beautifully.
You mentioned meat and beef exports. The UK currently doesn't accept American beef because of its own food standards. Are you calling on the UK to accept all American beef and chicken products?
Well, I think they'll take what they want. We have plenty of it. We have every type. We have every classification you could have. As you know, Bobby Kennedy is doing a tremendous job, and he's, I think, probably heading toward your system with.
Anyone ever try this boom
no
boom stick?
chemical, no
My
this, no
allergies are
that.
horrible this
I
year.
think we're heading
and it
that
actually
way,
works
it
good.
seems to be.
And I'm not paid to say
And,
this, but I
we
seen it
have
on
that
TikTok,
also.
so I bought it and
So
tried
we
it.
have-
Actually,
we're a
I
very
seen it
big
on Shark
country.
Tank too.
We have a lot of beef. We're a very big country, so
May
it'll be
I?
great. Yes, yes,
You want me to jump?
yes.
Let's talk about American beef really quickly, and it can't be understated. I'm Brooke Rollins, by the way, how important this deal is and what this means to American farmers and ranchers. Specific to the beef, this is going to exponentially increase our beef exports. And to be very clear, American beef is the safest, the best quality, and the crown jewel of American agriculture for the world. So I think a really important part of this deal isn't just the ethanol reducing of tariffs from 19 to 0, which for our row croppers is a huge deal, but also for beef. And as we move forward, I know our incredible trade team is looking at all of the meats, all of the produce, really all of our agriculture exports. And I don't know if there's an industry that has been treated more unfairly and has suffered more than our agriculture industry. So we look forward to, I'll be in the UK on Monday, talking to my counterpart over there for next week, and look forward to moving that out across the country. The president is an
I think
incredible
we can
defender
say
of
that we
America.
have the best in the world, best tractors, the best everything
I'm
in the
those
world.
that-
And they say that our
I-
agriculture is, second to none.
S&P
You
back to
understand? And
6K,
it'll be a
then
great
summer
asset.
crash.
People are going to be able to have
Our beef
options,
is number
choice,
one,
and they'll
and
have more of
reminded
it.
BTC
And that
is
usually means lower prices.
shinier
How about
than
we'll do you
others.
than you? Go ahead.
Question,
Blue Thunder, where are you from?
So congratulations for the deal. We see a big revenues from the chart. But what's
I don't
the
believe
rest
our
of
beef
the
is
world?
number one.
It's a big
I'll tell you that for
like
sure.
other European country, it seems
Well,
like
we intend to make a deal with
whatever they do
Europe.
to it.
We have found that
The number
European
one beef
Union
was
treated
that
us
I've ever tried
extremely
was
unfairly.
Argentina,
They're very
man. That
difficult.
was the
And
best
hurt themselves in
tasting
doing
real
so.
beef.
And they very much want
I
to make
can't
a
even
deal. We'll be
explain how
dealing
much
with them. We
different
are
it
dealing
is.
with them currently. So that'll cover
Yeah, I get it.
pretty
So-
much the rest of it.
And
But this was separate because of Brexit in particular.
Euro
This
meat.
was a separate deal. It always
Athens
seems so natural.
and
I mean, all
Greece,
the media
the Euro
would say that
tastes
this
so much
seemed to be
better
like,
than
why
here.
did this happen 25 years? Why
I
didn't
get
it
it,
happen
Blue
a long
Thunder.
time ago? And it was always amazing to me. Somebody would say, hey, we got to make a deal. We have to make a deal. But this deal just fell into place. The Prime Minister did a fantastic job. His representatives are total professionals, and they got along well. And it just seemed to work. And I think one of the reasons it did is because we blew up the whole system. If we would have just been dealing with you separately or, country by country, we blew up the whole system. It was very fair to very unfair to the United States. And
The system,
I think
right.
because of that, this worked out so nicely. And I'm honored that it was the first deal. Please.
Sir, you mentioned
Well, why don't you go in the back, yes?
Yeah, 727er.
With the London Times. I would say this is a great day for James Bond because now.
Catch me tomorrow. I'll definitely pull it up.
Probably
Probably just gonna watch this today. Bullshit with you guys a little more about what they're talking about, and then go on. Let's listen to the reporters.
On films, and we'd like to know if there'd be relief on British.
Well, we're going to have a discussion on that separately. And as you know, we're putting tariffs on that particular film, he said. The movie makers, and we're going to be doing some tariffs to get them, because a lot of them have left this country. They all live here, the money comes from here, everything comes from here, but they make them in other countries. So we're going to do something to bring them back, maybe to a large extent, but James Bond has nothing to worry about that, I can tell you. James Bond. And you know, Sean Connery was a friend of mine. Sean Connery was responsible for my getting zoning in Aberdeen.
In the
He
US,
said,
didn't
let the bloody bloke build his golf courses. And, I was like 4 years into the process, and it was impossible in Aberdeen. And he, I don't know, he just stood up one day and he said that. As soon as he said that, I got the approvals in about 2 minutes. So he was a great guy, Sean Connery, and
Can you share if
great
you're going back
character.
there later in the year?
Say it?
Are you going to Scotland and to...
Yeah, I will be, sure. It's great. We have a lot of investment over there. We have Turnberry, Aberdeen. We have, as you know, in Doonbeg in Ireland, right
This
on
was
the
their
ocean.
announcement.
They're all in the ocean.
We're gonna
I
pump
only
the
have
market.
interest in
That's
they're on
all
the
it
ocean.
was for.
And we have
That's
good
all this
investments
was.
over
This
there.
whole thing was
Beautiful.
about.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with any deal, because the deal isn't even finished. They're trying to save the markets. They're kicking the can down the road. When this thing dumps, it's going to dump
Well, it
harder
could
than
be. I mean,
anybody
we're going
could
to see
ever
right
imagine.
now,
And
you
I
can't get any
cannot
higher.
wait
It's at
for the
145,
opportunity
so we
it's
know
gonna
it's coming
provide.
down. I think we're going to have a very good relationship. You know, I always got along very well with President Xi. That relationship was greatly disturbed by COVID, when COVID came in. But we get along very well now. I mean, the relationship was hurt with a lot of people, a lot of countries when COVID came in. But I think we're going to have a very good relationship. I expect to have a very good relationship with China, Scott. I think it's a very friendly meeting. They look forward to doing it in an elegant way. China, as you know, has a tremendous trade surplus with us, and we can't, we just can't have that.
And things go to normal.
But I think
and be
it's
good,
going
and
to. I think it's going to be
everybody
very good for both countries. I would like to
just in
see
a good
China
space,
open.
right? I would
You know,
love
one of
that.
the
I
big
just
things
don't
here
see it
is,
happen.
and nobody would know this, but the UK was largely closed. It was very much closed to trade, and now it's opened. And a lot of
It's hard to
the
unsee
financial
things once you
reporters
see
are
them.
very happy about that, because so much. I
sucks.
listened to them. Well, I hope they get countries opened up. And then you compete on a fair basis, but you can't compete when you're not allowed to go there. China would be the number one example of that. You know, it's very closed. We almost had it last time before COVID, and that didn't work out. But we made a great deal with China. They had to buy $50 billion worth of our food products, and it was a great deal, doing very well for our farmers. And then when Biden came in, as usual, nothing happened. You know, he didn't enforce it. And it got less, and ultimately, you know, destroyed a great deal. That was a great deal. But no, I think that we're going to have a good weekend with China. I think they have a lot to gain. I do think they have far more to gain than we do, in a sense. But I think we're going to have a very good
Susan,
weekend.
I mean, I could be wrong, but pretty
I
sure.
might, yeah, sure. Depending on what
Pretty
Scott
sure this shit is
says,
pretty
we
easy.
sort of Scott is doing certain countries, and
hit
Howard's doing
101
certain
on
countries.
Coinbase.
I mean, I wish I had like 10 more of each. Then we could do them all at one time. But there will be a time we'll do a number of them. Then there'll be a time. I think I can say this, Scott and Howard, where we're just going to say, because we understand the countries, we understand what they want, where we're just going to make the deal. In other words, we don't need the country involvement because we've already had it. And we'll say this particular country, which had big surpluses, let's say, we had therefore deficits, that this particular country is going to pay a 25% tariff, or a 30%, or a 50%, or 10%, or whatever it may be. This was, I think we should explain it now, Howard. One of the things we did here that we'll rarely do is on cars, we took it from 25 to 10 on Rolls-Royce, because Rolls-Royce is not going to be built here. I wouldn't even ask them to do that. You know, it's a very special car, and it's a very limited number too. It's not, you know, one of the monster car companies that makes millions of cars. They make a very small number of cars that are super luxury, and that includes Bentley and Jaguar. So we have some very special cars. So in order to help that industry, and that's really
special
you
anymore.
know, handmade stuff. And
They're mass
they've been
produced.
doing it for a long time in the same location. And I said, yeah, that would be good. Let's help them out with that one. But that's different than a car company that
Yes,
comes
Susan,
out and
it
makes
is.
millions of cars, which they'll be doing in our country. They're going to build, we have many factories, car plants being built or going to be built very soon. I think we can say that we'll be close to $10 trillion of investment. I think we're actually at that number now if you add up some of the ones we haven't heard about yet. I mean, we have some going up right now. They have plants going up, and they haven't even spoken to us. They're doing it because of the tariffs. And tariffs have always been used against us, and I never understood. I used to sit back. As you know, China paid hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs when I was president. But until then, China never paid anything. And, you know, they really did a big number on us from the standpoint of trade. But we are using tariffs now for our benefit. And we have now close to $10 trillion. Think of that, $10 trillion. If you look at the past administration, and we're talking about over, you know, essentially 2 months, because we could say 3, but it took a little while to get the office in perfect shape, right? It took a little while to get things done. But once we started, when you think of that, close to $10 trillion of investment, you've had years where the United States wouldn't do that wouldn't do 1 trillion in a year, wouldn't do anywhere near 1 trillion. We did 10 trillion in 2 months. So it's amazing what's happening. We're getting calls from, and that has to do with chips, has to do with cars. We used to make chips. We had Intel, and we used to make chips. We had a monopoly on chips. Everything was made here. And now, over a period of years, because of presidents that didn't know what they were doing, they allowed that business to be stolen from us. Most of it moved to Taiwan. And you probably were in the same position, right? Because you had a lot of the chip-making capacity, but they moved it in.
Guys,
and if we would have said, that's fine. If you want to move it to Taiwan, that's good.
Just a pump
But
speech.
if you want to sell
And
back
then it's
into the
gonna come to
United
an
States, we're going to put a 50% or 100% tariff on. They would have never left.
You get it?
But we had people sitting here that didn't
You get
understand
what
that,
happened
and
here.
it's too bad.
They
But
bought
now they're coming
before the
back
speech.
because
That's
I'm
probably
saying
took
it.
so long, they
I'm
were
saying
gonna
it
buy
about
all
40
this
years
shit.
too late. But
Then people
they're
could
coming
phone
back.
away
As
and
you know, we have the
pump
biggest
price
chip
higher because
makers
they're
in the
talking,
world,
and then they'll put it
spending
on their heads.
in one case
And the next day
300
they-
billion, in one case 500 billion,
Pretty sad.
same as Apple, and in another case 200 billion. And we're going to have a large share, very, very substantial share of the chip making market.
Hearing them.
You said that this weekend is going to be a friendly visit, but do you expect that it will just be a formality to break the ice, or are they going to get into substantive negotiations?
I believe so, yes. I believe it's substantive, yes. I think people like to say, yes, we're having a meeting to meet. Well, we're meeting, so what are we going to do? Talk about meeting again? I think it's going to be substantive. I think we can say that, right, Scott? Very substantive. Now, China wants to do something. And look, they have to at this point. You know, essentially, they made $1 trillion a year, and
Yeah,
now
you
they
make
have
it.
absolutely, you know, no business because of the
Lonzo
tariffs. They have
said
no
Ethereum
business,
goes to
and
2600
they want to have
max in a
business, and we
month,
want
and
them to
then
have
bye-bye.
business. We want them to do well. We want them to do very well. So I think it's going to be very substantive.
Because business has slowed down, as you mentioned. We're
In
seeing-
China.
But we're seeing as a result, the ports here in the US, the traffic has really slowed, and now
That's good.
thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
Yeah, no,
Did
we
you watch
lose.
the
That
beginning
means
of the
we lose
video?
less
I said
money.
for watch
Yeah.
for
When I see that means we
101.8
lose less money. Look, China
to
was making
102.5.
over $1 trillion, 1.1 trillion, in my opinion.
Go back
There are
and watch
different
the beginning
numbers
of the
from
video. We
500
talked about
billion
this.
to $1 trillion or $1 trillion. I think it was 1.1
I got
trillion.
shorts in at 101.5.
And frankly, if we didn't do business, we would have been better off.
Waiting
Okay, you
there.
understand that.
We got
So
stopped
when
out
you
at
say
100.
it slowed down, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But we're going to make it so they can, I'd like to say they can do better, actually, in terms of the bottom line. We'd like to
Let
see
me-
China opened up so we can compete in
Like, keep
China
an eye
and,
on this,
you know,
too.
give
Let me-
people something that they've never had, you know,
open
access
this.
to something. That'd be great for the world, it would be great for
Let
our
me get my
businesses, and I think it would
Bitcoin
be great for
shirt ready.
friendship. I really expect, a lot of people think I'm a militant guy, I'm really not. I think that
We're gonna get this chart
trade
ready.
can
I'm not gonna
bring
use it
a
right
greater
this
friendship
minute,
with China.
but
It
I'm
can
gonna
be
have it
something
ready.
good.
Let's go
But,
back.
you know, one of the things that I know Scott's going to be talking about very high on the list is open up and let our businesses go into China, because when you talk about a closed country, that's a really closed country. And I think it would be great if it was opened up, give people a lot of choice, and would create a lot of jobs, a lot of everything. So I think it would be a great thing for China. And that's going to be one of the things we'll be discussing, like we discussed with UK. Yeah, please.
So what does Britain have to do for you to drop the baseline 10% tariff that you're maintaining
Well, I think that's set because that has to do with a lot of different things, including past. You know, there are a lot of past things that we talk. This is very inclusive. We included everything, and that's pretty well set. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Mr. President, the 10% baseline tariff remaining in place, is that a template for these future trade deals?
No.
We're going to keep it here.
No.
Is it going to stay in every case?
No, that's a low number. They made a good deal. Some will be much higher because they have massive trade surpluses, and in many cases they didn't treat us right. One thing with UK, they had it somewhat closed, not like a China as an example, but they always treated us with great respect.
So
they treated us with great respect. The template of 10 is probably the lowest, and therefore they made that deal. But they we've had just a very special relationship with them. Like, I won't do that deal with cars. I mean, unless somebody shows me that there's another kind of a car that's comparable to a Rolls Royce, and there aren't too many. This is a good commercial for Rolls Royce. They're going to order a lot of cars.
Mr. President, I wonder whether you'd like to buy.
I mean, well, the last time this happened,
I would be happy to suggest a discount, obviously a very modest discount. We have to protect our profit margins.
I've had many of them, actually. The last time that happened, I ended up buying a Tesla. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mary Margaret Olehan with Daily Wire.
Why does he call Tesla Tesla?
UK deal today. I heard there was talk that part of the agreement would depend on whether the UK would respect free speech and freedom of religion. I know the VP is really interested in that, talked about that earlier this year. Was there any assurances that you guys got on that front?
You want to handle that?
Yeah, that was not part of the conversation. Our conversation was an economic conversation from start to finish, closed by the president yesterday. This was a business deal, open their markets, and also protect their workers, grow our markets, and help our workers.
This was about business religion. Business is sort of a semi-religion, but not nearly as important. I don't want to get myself into Go ahead, please, in the back. Go ahead.
Mr. President, will you be asking China to help you close, the gap between Ukraine and Russia?
I think so, yeah. I think it's a natural thing to ask.
What do you expect?
Sure. I don't know. I think we're making good progress. The fighting is a little bit different than it was. I think if we weren't involved, Russia would be, going at it to maybe get the whole thing. And without our involvement, they'd be able to get it, because we supplied a lot of different things, foolishly. But we've been sort of paid back by doing the rare earth deal that I talked about before. I think that I think that we will be very much involved in trying to get that bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. It's a horrible situation. 5,000. It's really more than that. But it's 5,000 soldiers on average a week, mostly soldiers, are being killed. Young, beautiful people. I mean, they're being killed. I see the satellite pictures coming back, body parts lying all over fields, heads and arms. It's so terrible. I've never seen anything like it, actually. And if we can get that stopped, that will be a great accomplishment. And we're trying very hard. And I think we're close. And Mr. Witkoff is talking constantly back and forth. He's a real professional who's got a great relationship with both countries.
I think there's too much money to be made there, 100%.
And likewise, we're trying to work on Iran to get that solved without having to get into any
I don't even know 1.8
bombing,
trillion for
as we say,
more
big
bullshit.
bombing. I don't want to
Is
do that. I want them
included in there,
to
another
work
like
it. I want them to be
800 billion
very
or something.
successful.
I don't even know
Mr. President, Edward Lawrence from Fox Business.
Yes.
On the non-market barriers, how did you get the UK to bend, and what was the 11th hour deal or ask?
Well, I think it was really just a part of the overall. I mean, they have so many things that are so good for them. It's going to be so good for the country, and that was sort of easy. It wasn't. We had non-market. I call it non-market or non-monetary trade barriers, and we had quite a few of them. Not nearly as bad as some countries. Some countries have, they have virtually no tariff, but the rest of it is so brutal you can't do business with them, right? So it's a very important question, actually. No, I think the overall deal just worked out very well from their standpoint. They were willing to give that in order to get other things, and you might want to speak to that, Mr. Ambassador.
Look, the point about the deal is that we will continue reducing tariffs and non-tariff barriers. This is a continuing picture. It's a movie. It's not a still picture here. It's a movie. It continues. And we're both committed to freeing up trade between
You're right
our
about one
countries.
thing, it's
we're
a
both
movie.
committed to freeing up investment between our countries. And the point about this deal is that it provides a very good template and a very good launch pad for what we can continue to do and build on in the future. And that's what we're both determined to do.
You know, many of the, well, wait, that's
between us.
Many of the, we'll keep it confidential. Yeah, how about just one more little thing, right? Well, it got the deal closed, and it was handled very well from the other side, too.
The deal is not closed.
But many of these things that we're talking
I'm
about,
sure it will
we've been
close,
talking
but
about this
it's not
for
closed, and they needed to
25
hurry up
years.
and make an announcement.
It's
and one
hard
of the
to
things they wanted to
explain
push,
when,
I guarantee you, was that
if you
Boeing
weren't sitting
news.
behind this beautiful Resolute desk, you just wouldn't get it. I have been hearing about making a deal with UK for 25 years. And especially around the time of Brexit. They wanted to make a deal, so they came out of Brexit and they make a deal, and how natural. And it just couldn't be done. It couldn't be done. Good people. And this is a bigger deal. This is a much bigger, better, stronger deal for both of us than we ever even contemplated before. It's a big deal.
Virtually
Monster
everyone
deal.
said that it would end in failure, it would end in tears, and it's ended
Oh,
in
my
exactly
God.
the opposite.
Yeah.
But, Mr. President, can I say that that is due to Secretary Lutnick and Ambassador Greer, have been absolutely fantastic. But
Right.
yesterday I received a call, a
100%,
very diplomatic
Berlin.
call that just edged things over the line, and that was from your new ambassador in the United Kingdom.
Who is terrific, man.
Warren Stevens, he's here.
Where is Warren?
Right here.
Hello, Warren. Come here.
He's flying to London tomorrow night. He's going to be very popular with the British people. He's going to be a very successful ambassador.
And,
Were you disappointed?
and he's got plenty of cash. Plenty of cash.
We need some more big spenders.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you planning to meet Ursula von der Leyen?
You're going to go ahead fast.
Yes, are you planning to meet Ursula von der Leyen?
Cameras are going off
Oh.
like crazy.
Oh, she's so fantastic, right? She's so fantastic. I hope we're going to meet. Yeah, the answer is yes. I saw her, actually, I saw her a few days ago. And I think that we'll definitely meet, yeah. The European Union is a big thing. They want to make a deal very badly. You know, everybody wants to make a deal. Look, everybody wants to make a deal with the United States, and we're doing that, and we're going to make fair deals. I'm just honored that this was the first one. Go ahead, please.
The Federal Reserve Chairman,
behind.
Federal Reserve Chairman, Mr. President, says that you would have to call him for a meeting. Do you plan to meet with him?
I could
And
call
what
him
do
for
you
a
think about-
meeting, but
and
it's
what-
like talking to a wall. He should be,
What do you think about not cutting? The Bank of England cut today.
well, the Bank of England cut, China cut, everybody's cutting but him. It's, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a shame. I call him Too Late, you know, Too Late Powell, that's his nickname, and it's a shame, it's ridiculous. So, meeting, he's always too late. But in this case, it's not going to matter that much because our country is so strong. We're so powerful in terms of economic strength and what we've done. And
Economic
I'll tell you what, if we
strength.
didn't have our first term, you wouldn't be. We created things in the first term. We cut more regulations than any president in history. We cut the taxes more than anybody in history. And a very big factor is going to be the tax bill that we have right now, the one big beautiful bill, as we call it, which is all-encompassing, the biggest tax cuts ever in history, bigger than even the first time, and the incentives, even great for the UK, because it'll make us so strong that we're going to be doing more business with you. It's a very important element for taxes, for every aspect, regulation cuts. That bill is, I believe it's the biggest bill of its kind ever in the history of this country. And Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune have done an incredible job. I mean, I'll let you know, we have to get a vote, but we have a lot of support for that bill. And if that happens on top of all of these trade deals that we're doing, this country will hit a point that you better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. If we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. If it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. It's terrible what's happened to the Democrats. So, very, very important element of everything, of what we're doing, unrelated to today, but related in the sense that we'll do, if that passes, we'll do even more business with the UK. We'll have so much. It's the biggest tax cut in history. It's going to make our country zoom. It's going to be incentive, as you know, with the deduction for, basically for work. You work, you build, you plant, etc., your deduction. It's going to be the biggest, it's the biggest bill of its kind ever passed, maybe the biggest bill ever passed. That's why we call it the one big, beautiful bill.
You just announced a new nominee for the U.S. Surgeon General who never finished her residency and is not a practicing physician. So can you explain why you picked her to be America's top doctor?
Because Bobby thought she was fantastic. She's highly, she's a brilliant woman who went through Stanford, and as I understand it, she basically wanted to be an academic as opposed to a surgeon. I think she graduated first in her class at Stanford, and Bobby really thought she was great. I don't know her. I listened to the recommendation of Bobby. I met her yesterday and once before. She's a very outstanding person, a great academic, actually. So I think
here's the
she'll be great.
0.78 we were talking about earlier. We're almost there. It's at about 101.9.
I do, yeah, but he's a terrific person,
even
and
if it wicks above.
he
But
wasn't getting the
101.9
support
is
from
that sweet spot
people that
on
I
the
thought. And he's done a
0.786.
very good
We'll
job.
keep an eye
Crime
on
is
that.
down 25% in D.C. During his period of time. I'm very disappointed in that.
Look at that. He tells
but I
people
have
to
so
buy
many
stocks,
different
they buy
things
stocks.
that I'm doing now with the
How
trade.
fucking simple can it be?
I'm one person. I can
Now
only
look.
make, boom, I can only lift that little phone so many times in a day. But we have somebody else that will be great. I just want to say Ed is unbelievable, and hopefully we can bring him into, whether it's DOJ or whatever, in some capacity, because really outstanding. To me, it was disappointing, I'll be honest. I have to be straight. I was disappointed. A lot of people were disappointed. But that's the way it works sometimes, That's the way it works. And he wasn't rejected, but we felt it would be hard. And we have somebody else that we'll be announcing over the next 2 days who's going to be great.
With companies like Ford and Mattel recently saying they're going to raise prices on certain products, how long do you think the American public is going to be patient and wait for you?
Well, I think they're saying that just to try and negotiate deals with me. Okay? They're not. Look, tariffs are the most misunderstood thing maybe in any form of business, anywhere in business. Oftentimes the country picks them up. Oftentimes the company picks it up. The people don't pick it up. Okay, the people don't pick it up. And if Ford did that, they wouldn't sell any cars. And if Mattel, I don't know, I'm not so sure. They also said, they're the only country I've heard, they said, well, we're going to go counter. We're going to try going someplace else. That's okay. Let him go, and we'll put 100% tariff on his toys. And he won't sell one toy in the United States.
I don't know why
that's the biggest
my
market.
voice doesn't go over that.
I heard that. I mean, I watched this guy talking about how I'm going to
Do you
go
think
counter.
he
I
will
said,
tell you to
we
buy
don't
when
wanna
he's
have him as
buying? Hell no, he
executive
won't.
too long. The Ford people I know very well. What they're doing is negotiating with us.
At this
by
point,
saying
I'd
that.
love a black swan
But we don't
event
think
to
that's
wreck
gonna
all those
happen. Look,
idiots
I
buying
put out
now.
a truth today.
People do pick
And it
it
said
up.
that gas is down.
The Trump
gasoline
video is too
down,
loud.
Energy is down.
I turned it down a little bit. Does that help?
Groceries are down. Eggs are down. I mean, eggs, thank you very much. But eggs are down. When I came in the first week, you guys hit me with eggs. I said, what the hell happened with eggs?
I guess I just had to
Eggs were
adjust
up
it. My
like
bad, guys.
170% and going up. And they said, don't order any for Easter. And we were thinking about ordering plastic eggs like everybody was doing. And Brooke did a fantastic job.
That was a great job he did pumping the
Brooke did a
market there,
fantastic
right?
job, and we had
So
hundreds
this
of thousands
was,
of eggs out here in the lawn. Just 2
where
weeks
we
ago
at here?
Easter.
So this was
But
at
you
10
take a look at
o'clock
the
when it was
cost.
supposed to
Energy's
happen.
down.
They came down here
Even
before.
interest rates are down.
Right,
Now,
I'm sure they all
if
bought there.
The
And
chairman of the Fed.
all the people watching are buying
if he
all the way
would,
up here.
lower
Let's
interest
see.
rates like China did,
Man,
like I think
never
UK
trust
did, but like numerous other countries. have
a
done.
speaking
It's like
head
jet
when they
fuel,
tell you to
great.
buy the
Well, he
market.
doesn't want to do it. I think he doesn't want to do it. Probably he's not in love with me. I think that's
Such a shit
it's
show.
sort of a crazy reason, but that's the way life is. Anybody in his position would be learning. It would be like jet fuel. But even without that, we're doing well. But remember this, you know, I've watched you people reporting over
This
the last
shit's
few months
insane.
that
It's so
if we do
crazy. This shit
uh,
should be
you know,
illegal,
prices are
but
gonna
they
go
make
through
the
up.
laws, so.
Groceries are down. All of this stuff is down. Lumber is down. Oil is gone to, I mean, we have that thing broke 60, right? $60 a barrel. And $1.98, $1.99 in some cases.
So it would be laughable
and
if this
heading-
thing,
and heading
everything just starts
in
dumping
that
right when they
direction.
shut it off.
No, I think it's been amazing, actually.
They'll
You know,
all get
and
on their phones
what
and start
that's good
dumping all
for,
their
it gives
shit.
the consumer more money, and it gives them a better life, because we just came out of the worst inflation, in my opinion, in the history of our country. They say 48
Jack
years.
Rosenthal said,
But
let's go a
Biden,
little
really screwed
deeper
it up.
and
He
shut
screwed
this
up
off.
energy. And he also
I
he
kinda wanna
spent too
hear
much
it.
money. He was
It's
spending
kinda
it on,
almost
you know, Green New
addicting.
Scam. And that's like throwing the money. See that beautiful window behind? Take money, throw it right out that window, because it's the same thing. He just, he spent $10 trillion. He wasted it. Not only was it bad, it was a negative. It wasn't even like it helped a little bit. It was a real negative. And then on top of it, they let 21 million people into our country without any identification, anything. Just let them in. It's very,
Let a
very sad.
YouTube,
Well, we'll do one or two.
let a
more.
YouTuber show and made it double. Not for crypto though. There's no laws on that, I don't think, which is unfortunate for the poor people that buy the shit that the shillers shill.
How concerned are you about the UK's reliance on China?
He's about to chill fart coin at this rate.
Chinese exports?
We're not concerned.
Is that something that came
Well,
up in
honestly,
discussions?
I'm not concerned about anything. If I was, I wouldn't even be here right now. If I was concerned about anything, and it wouldn't be that, but I wouldn't be here right now. No, we're not concerned. We're going to have, I believe, a very good relationship with China, and a fair relationship, and it'll get bigger and it'll grow. It'll grow. As an example, if they open up the country, that'll be the best thing China ever did for itself. They don't know that yet because, you know, it's been a different system. But that'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to China. The people will be happier. They'll buy for less. They'll see things that they never saw before, and they'll be buying them.
China, how the hell's
And
China gonna
it'll-
buy for less?
It'll really create great.
They freaking
long-term
make
peace.
everything over there. It's way cheaper to buy it there because they ain't got no tariffs on their own shit.
Fluorinated chicken, the import of hormone treated beef. Has that question been addressed, resolved in these talks, or is that something for the continuing?
Go Berlin said,
Well,
if you want to hear this, the world is a stage. All world leaders are friends behind closed doors. Like 100%. 100%. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Importing country, whether it's us or them, you got to follow the rules on those types of things. But
They're
our point
friends
is
because the
rules
big
need to
people
make
got
sure that
shit
they are
on all.
based on science, and that's our
And they have to do whatever they're
expectation. We know
told,
the UK
but they're all
believes that
buddies because they're all being screwed.
consolidation. We want the consumers in each country to be able to choose what they want and give them the information that they need.
and we have an incredible EPA led by
Isaac,
Administrator
right.
Zeldin that is on this. So the talks continue, but we are very, very confident in our products, and what the president has
great
done to
products.
open up the markets is unprecedented for these farmers here.
That's a great product.
Wall Street as they watch this. I mean, you saw the stock.
Yeah, you just can't make this shit up. It's the more you open your eyes, the crazier
Don't forget
all this stuff
This
is.
is all a pipe dream. And this is a tough one. This is, somebody would say, well, this is easy. This is much tougher, I think, than any other deal, because they've been at it for so many years, decades, trying to make this deal. And it's very conclusive, and it's a great deal, and it's a very big deal, actually. And no, this is just the beginning. We're going to be having conferences, or at some point we won't have, we'll just put out a statement that we just signed this country, that country. And after a number of these are done, nobody has enough people to do it. We're just going to put out X country is going to pay this, and if they open up, they're going to do this and that, and they're going to be open up. Everybody wants to
do this and that, and then do this and that, and this and that, and this and this. It'd be very wonderful.
Because we have the consumer. And we have the consumer.
Again,
like
guys,
nobody
nothing
else.
against Trump.
And,
He's just a puppet. He's doing what he's told.
If this country went bad, the whole world would go bad. But we really saved it from going bad. Yeah, please.
Can I ask you about the air traffic control issue? Are you looking at getting new software?
I'm glad you asked me about it, because I'm just going to be talking to now with the heads of the airlines and everything else. So I was all set before we had the rigged election. to give out a brand new gorgeous system to one company that was going to do the whole thing, one of the best companies in the world that you know very well. You know, there are 3 or 4 of them that do it. And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, you know, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party. But he didn't know what he was doing. And he took what they call dry systems.
The way the
where you
recent
have wires
blackout was merely a
in the earth,
test. The
buried
real
in
one
the
will
earth,
come
whatever.
in around 12 to 18
and then you have
months.
the open air systems where you have satellites.
I
And you
believe
can't
that. You're
mesh
talking
them.
about the one in Portugal.
Anybody would know that
in
if you went through
area.
about 2 months of study in school, if you studied that kind of thing. And
It was probably something to do with
he
making
did.
this deal.
They spent tens of billions of dollars trying to take old, broken equipment and merging it into existing new equipment with brand new equipment. It's one of the greatest. They
Black
spent
Swan
like
to create the
$40 billion.
1929 style crash.
And what they did is they made
I'm
it
sure
worse.
it's all gonna break.
Because it doesn't work together. You can't make it work together.
Let's make
You
sure
have a
you're
satellite
prepared in
system,
some way,
you need
man.
Satellite. If you don't, they
I think
had
the
all
people
these
that'll be
different
hurt the worst are like
technologies.
inner city
Some of
people
them
that don't
50
know
years
how
old, and they're
to
trying to mesh them in.
fend for
And
themselves.
they end up spending twice
get
the money
food
they
other
should
than a
have.
grocery
You could
store.
have bought a whole new system. So we have a very good guy who you all know, Sean Duffy, is head of transportation, and I've given him a
Be
10-minute
prepared, not
lesson in
scared.
buying.
100.
And he's become really good. And we are now in the market to buy a gorgeous, brand new system. The helicopter that crashed into
We're in the
plane at
market to buy a
400 feet,
gorgeous,
shouldn't have been.
brand
What
new
would have happened is
system.
all sorts of bells and sirens. would have
Wonder
been
who
going
owns
off
the company that
3
makes the
minutes before that
system.
accident happened, if you had the right equipment, but they did. And the new
Bought my
equipment
mom
is
a diesel
unbelievable
generator
what it does.
in
You can have-
22
you don't even- well,
Nice.
I was gonna
I got
say
a
something, but you
natural
always- in my
gas one,
opinion,
but
you always need
hopefully it
pilots.
won't
I
be a
want
bad
pilots.
enough blackout that
You
the
wouldn't even
natural
have to
gas
have
stops
pilots.
flowing.
This system is so incredible what they can do. But we have a system that's
Isaac said,
obsolete,
I'm
and
city
what they
people,
did
I'm good.
is the worst. They tried to combine the really old, broken stuff with the new stuff, and you can't
These
combine
charts
them,
are
and
plain
anybody should know.
unsustainable.
So Biden,
They're
you think
just,
Biden figured this out? I don't think so, fellas.
Like I said,
You think
man,
he has
it's
any
all
clue?
part
He
of the
doesn't know what the hell's
scheme.
happening. So here's the story. We're going to be buying a brand new, it's going out to bid
The
very
people
soon.
at the top will be
Brand
making
new
more money.
state-of-the-art system that will cover the entire world.
They'll be tripling
I'll
and
give you an
quadrupling
example
their
where
money
my
right
pilot-
when this
now I
crash
have,
happens,
military
while
pilots,
everybody
but
else
prior to
loses
that, I
their
have very good
ass
pilots,
if they're in
great
the
pilots.
markets.
They would land, and I won't tell you which country, but they would use the system of another country. They wouldn't even use the system of the United States. So if I'm landing in New York or Florida or Tennessee, they're using a system from another country. I said, why is that? And they were, you know, they're not into business, but they're just saying our system doesn't
Why
work.
is that?
sir."
I don't think.
And I said,
I don't think he
"That's
asked
pretty
that.
sad."
I don't believe he asked
But we were
that.
all set to give it out to, you know, look, you have a Raytheon and you have different companies like that, numerous companies. And you have companies that would do it, like an IBM, as an
Go
example.
Berlin, pretty much.
And you give out one deal, one contract. They gave out hundreds of contractors. They had diggers. They had non-diggers. They had people that focused on satellites. They had hundreds of different contracts.
They make
One contract
news
where
and they
one
pump.
guy is controlling everything. If you need
Pretty
a
much.
trench, then they dig a trench. But if you don't dig the trench, they don't blame you. What happens is you don't dig it, then they say we want a cost
I have a
overrun.
spot in northern
Now, we have it
Ontario,
all set,
off-grid
and
hunting
We're going to
camp.
be doing it. We would have
And
done
for
it,
real,
except that
live
the
off
election
the
took a
land out
little
if
strange
needed.
turn.
Right on. There's a
But
lot
the
of
second one
land
did,
like
that was
that
too big to
up
read.
in here.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Just above me in Michigan. I actually have some land out there that I keep forgetting I have. But yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Please keep moving.
It's an essential and vital principle of international trade. The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market
That's it.
access for American exports, especially
All
in
right,
agriculture,
so-
dramatically increasing access for American beef, ethanol, and virtually
No, it still is
all
going.
of the products produced by our great farmers. And our secretary, as you know, of Agriculture is here. Brooke, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
You'll let the farmers know. In addition, the UK will reduce or eliminate numerous non-tariff barriers that unfairly discriminated against American products, but this is now turning out, I think, really to be a great deal for both countries, because it'll be really great for the UK also. So they're opening up
What's
the
happening?
country. Their country is a little closed, and we appreciate that. They'll also be fast-tracking American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and
Oh, this is just
there won't
redoing
be
it.
any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all
In the coming
very
weeks.
conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's
So
been
this is
approved.
just repeat, right?
So good for both countries, and
Has
we'll
this-
also
what
receive
is
new
going
market
on?
access for American chemicals,
I think it's
machinery, and
over.
many other industrial products that weren't allowed.
Yeah, they are done.
And
So it's
they'll
just
end up
repeating
getting
now.
products that they'll be able to price.
Yeah, it's just repeating. So, what do you guys think? What was that all about? I need to get the Dow chart back up here and put it back where it belongs. So we're gonna put it right here. All right, let's see if they shut the cameras off, open their phones, and start dumping. TV networks are done. Put the Pope live stream on. I am not putting the Pope live stream on. Sorry, guys. I've had enough of the watching other people's. Yeah, it was a replay. I got you. Anywho, what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to continue pumping? Let's look at Prime. Right. So I'm Prime. Oh, if it's done there, I'm going to be upset. I had my stops put, or not my stops. I had my shorts put here at 101.5. Oh my gosh, did I miss it? Nah, I think we can get up still and tag that. Man, it stopped at 101.493. Shit, I hope I didn't miss that. I really want to get in that short, but like I said, we could still, let's go look at the shit, I might have to move that too. Put that over here. So this is my, see, this is where I was looking for it to get to, which I'm going to wait. I think it will. Is at 101.9 at 0.786 fib. And again, this could be a wave one, right? And this, here's the way the count would look if it's a wave one, right? This would be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So there would be your 5 wave structure. We can get this off of here now. Oops. Clean this up a little bit. Right, so that's looks like 5 wave structure, and then you would have to find a correction in here, which this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Man, this could come all the way back down and then back up for a retest, but or can we find a, let's try to find a correction here. That's not what I wanted. Let's try to find a correction if we can. One. See, no. It would have to be crazy, like 1, 2, ABC. I don't know. Gonna have to wait and see what happens, but I'm looking for it to tag this 0.786, maybe wick above it, and then continue down. But that's what I'm watching for. What it was all about was making the rich richer. Yeah, like I said, man, it's sad, saddens me that, you know, that's what it's come down to. The same people that control the media, control the government, control everything, put out what information they want to enrich themselves more, right? Like I said, they probably bought the markets right before that. That's why it didn't start at 10. They were getting in, they were buying everything that they were going to pump. They pumped everything. Now Let's see if they turn their phones back on after the cameras get shut off. They get all set up and then dump on everybody's head after everybody quits buying. Once they see the volume is depleting, they may be dumping on people's heads. Gust said short from 1,850. You might have hit it, but I think we're still going to go up and at least tag that 0.786 fib at 1,900-ish or 100,900-ish. Did you lose when you shorted 100 Bitcoin? I never shorted 100 Bitcoin. I shorted 10. Yeah, but that was a lost trade. But if you guys remember, I started that account with 7,000. I took out 20,000 like a month ago, right? Took out 20,000. Now I've taken out 35 and there's still 10. So now I'm going to grow that 10. That's where we're at now. So total, I've taken out 55,000 out of that trade. Huge CME gap in strategy. What was that? Strategy, MicroStrategy thing right here. Oh yeah, big one. Yeah, big gap here. And gaps close. Yeah, this thing's on dump. This garbage. Garbage. Pretty sure it's been going on for years. It has. I mean, like I said, it's just once you start seeing it, it's hard to not see it. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you guys subscribed if you haven't already. Tick your notification bells. We go live at 9:45 every day. We're going to go over more stuff than just trading for now on, but we'll always go over trading, right? Because that's what we do. And I will always give out that $200 Prime XBT bonus. Make sure you sign up using the link down below. Remember, today and tomorrow are the last days. I'm trying to get them to extend it. I don't know if I'll be successful at that, but for now, you still can sign up using my link and get a 100% deposit bonus where they match whatever you deposit, 100% up to $10,000. So if you put in 1,000, they put in 1,000 that you can use towards your margin. Also, if you already have an account signed up using my link, just go into the promo section and put in Savvy 100 and then you will get into that. Don't forget the trade competition for BITUNIX. That link is down below also. Started yesterday. Top prize that goes on your trading volume, right? You can get up to a Model 3 or $35,000 Tesla. You can take the cash or the prize. That's the word I was looking for. You can take the prize or the money for any one of these if you win it. Here are last time's winner for last month. We got 3 people got the Apple Watch. Bunch of people got $200. Bunch more people got 50. Bunch more got 10. Yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. Have a good day. Hope everyone has an awesome day. Stay safe out there. If you're trading, trade safe and take it easy. Thanks for tuning in.